always wrote informal letters because in my opinion informal letters have a very simple format and informal letters are easier to write. Formal, I feel the format is a bit difficult and it's a bit different, and you have to be very careful to not use any sort of informal or casual tone. Many face the problem with framing the address from the recipient's name that is given in the question, and also framing the subject. So, and also the problems and the solutions which are mentioned in the topic have to be discussed. Like for problems, you have to give at least 3 points, and for solutions as well you have to give at least 3 points. So I think you should choose only one format that you are very well versed with it, and keep on practicing. As you now go on solving your sample papers, you should go on practicing with that particular format. Like, do not even spare a glance at the other format, because otherwise what might happen on the final day is that you will already be in a state of panic and feeling anxious. So it is probable that you might like jumble up both the formats, and then it's going to be nothing less than a hodgepodge. So in order to avoid that, let us just stick to one particular format that we are well versed with and carry forward that. And firstly, there is in informal letter, of course. Firstly, there is the 3-line address of yours, that is and after a line's gap, you have the date, and your exam is on 18th February 2025. So 18th February 2025 will be the date, not any other date. And you are solving papers right now, you are going through the PYQs. So when you are doing the letter writing part, you put this date only and write the letter. Like that way it will be, some kind of pain memory for you. So yeah, don't mess up the spelling. Like, be careful with your spellings, which is in case of your entire paper. But anyway, so after one line's gap, you write dear, the name of your friend. If you're addressing the letter to your friend, do not write dear friend, write the name of your friend. Do not write dear mama, dear mummy, write dear mother. Do not write dear papa, dear daddy, write dear father. Do not write dear granny, dear grandmother. Do not write dear grandpa, grandfather. So like, even if it is informal, don't make it too colloquial. So okay, make sure to touch all the pointers which are given in the topic of the letter writing. And if possible, and if you are if you feel that you can come up with 1 or 2 more points from yourself, so include them. Your tone should be pleasant and warm, and get to the point in the very first line of your very first para itself. So, and if you want to ask about your well-being and exchange pleasantries, keep it for the last para. Okay, and make it a realistic one. Do not add any kind of, do not make it a fictitious letter. I'll be uploading some of the materials which I have, like some letter I wrote, or composition I wrote, or notice I wrote, email I wrote, and hope it helps. I have not found all the resources, but whatever I have found, I'm going to put them up. And you're ending your letter like yours, not your apostrophe s, it's yours, yours. No place for any apostrophe. Y should be capital. Like, do not write it in cursive. Like, write the rest of your paper in cursive. Just put that, yours in free format, free Y. Yours lovingly, your name, just your first name. Do not put your full name for your informal letter. I would always recommend you should go for the informal letter. And anyway, coming to question 3, notice, and then your email writing. Coming to your notice part, your notice should have a catchy title, and it should correspond to exactly the event given in your topic. So I picked out the notice topics from the previous year's papers and the sample papers, like in my days. And I made 2 columns, like one for the event and one for what can be the catchy title for it. And although I have not filled up all the columns, there are very few columns which are filled up, and I will be uploading it. Maybe it might help you all. So most importantly, like, your catchy title should not be exceeding more than 3 to 4 words, and it should not be just one single word. Okay, most importantly, your notice should have your date, time, and venue. Date format will be exactly the same as you have used in your letter, and the time in AM. Okay, and then the venue, and the venue should be in the increasing order, like smaller to bigger, like room number 46, new building, ABC school. Do not use the name of your school. Use some imaginary name. Do not make the name like something explicit or something which cannot be pronounced even. Okay, so yeah, and you have to necessarily write about like who is your target audience, like whom are you inviting for participation. Like, make it specific, like as it will be given in the topic. And in case it is not given in the topic, like you can specify that the students of secondary section or the students of classes 11 and 12, like you can specify like that. And in your email, do not, like the first line you are writing the email id, do not write the term email id, like write the email id like principal abc@gmail.com. Do not write any name, okay? And if you're say inviting someone to be the chief guest, then you just like you can write the initials of that person's name, say vk@gmail.com. like it doesn't matter if your email id is looks like that, but it has to have the @gmail.com, and it should not be something which is which can again cannot be pronounced and is needs to be censored. Yeah. So you leave one line and then you write the subject. Again, do not mention the word subject. Write your subject invitation for. I made this mistake during my school exams. I wrote invitation to drama competition, invitation to school annual concert, like invitation for whatever, for being the chief guest, or like the students of another school for participation. Just write invitation for this so and so competition. Dear sir or dear madam. Do not write respected sir, respected madam, like CISE does not approve of that. And it should be a formal tone, like yeah, your opening and closing statements should be like uh, they are hardbound. Like your opening should be something like, we feel immense pride in inviting you to judge the inter-house street play competition to be organized by the drama club of so and so school. Your opening statement. And your closing statement, kindly find the brochure of the event attached to the mail. We look forward to be graced by your distinguished presence. This is something that I wrote. You will find this when I upload the materials and put them in the description box, and you go through them. So I'm not going to waste any further time on that. So your email should also contain the details of the event, and by details of the event I mean your date, your time, and your venue. And if something is mentioned in the details, like if you're inviting for participation and in the topic it's mentioned that so and so chief guest will be coming, so you mention that. And even if it is not mentioned, you can write that our drama competition is going to be graced by the by the presence of eminent actor so and so. Do not include real names, make up names, but do not make up vulgar names. Remember, your notice and email both are compulsory. There's no or, so you have to attempt both. Do not miss any question. Like make sure that like after you have solved one paper, you make sure that yes, I have attempted all the questions in this paper, or like yes, I have attempted all the questions in this section, and I am telling this for all of your subjects. For your comprehension, your vocabulary is going to help, like whatever vocabulary you have acquired throughout. If at all you cannot find the meaning, you are having the option, so substitute your options one by one in the line of your essay, like in the line of your passage, comprehension passage, and you can use the cancellation method. These are the tips to solving your MCQs in your comprehension passage. And okay, do not panic. Do not panic. You like keep this in your mind that you know the answers. Be patient and give yourself some time. Read the lines again and again. One of the options given is going to perfectly fit in, and let's pick up that and write it. In case you feel that it is going to consume a lot of your time and you should move on to the next question, and you can come back to it later, leave space for it, and then go to the next question. Do not think that I can write this answer at the end. Do not do that. Make your paper as organized and as presentable as possible. Like yeah, I know it is normal to feel anxious and feel like you are in jitters, because after all it's your first board examination and your first board examination paper. So we'll come to this later on. Okay. Many of your teachers and many of your subject experts on the internet, or like many of them, are going to tell you that you should first read the questions and then the passage, but I am going to tell you you should first read the passage and then you should read your questions, because you might miss out some point which is not along the lines that you think are your is where your answer lies. The first reading should be a basic reading, the second reading should be an in-depth reading, understanding the meaning, and the third reading will be first reading the questions and then picking out your answers from your passage. Do not always expect all of your answers, that yeah, this question, this answer is just this particular lines. No, your answer cannot be particularly accumulated in at just one point. So read the rest of the passage and see whether yeah, this point which is given at the end can still be added in the question which has been asked in the beginning, like that. I missed this, but in case of your precis, the last question of your comprehension exercise is going to have a precis which you have to write. in like within 50 words. Like at first you just answer the question how you would if it were a simple question. Like at first, like, you know, initially do not put into your mind that it's a precis question and it has to be done in a different format. Do not. So once you have like written your answer, first count the words. If it is near about 50, it's well and good. If it is less than 50, like two less than 50, then add some, you know, and or if you have written he, so you extend the name, like, you know, yeah, as it is given in your passage. Like these are some very like small tricks which you can like just gift yourself when you are doing it. And if the words are exceeding 50, so what you have to do then is you have to use your vocabulary merge of like bring a phrase into one or two words, bring like just like that, you know. And if you still feel that it is still exceeding, then you just deduct 1 point. Like nothing can be done in that case. So this is how I used to solve the precis. And once you have done that, first put it in a rough, like you have to do the rough box as well and then the fair box. Like it's a rule. So first do the rough box with a pencil, strike it out, and then do the fair box with a pen. Yeah, and make it neat and tidy. That's the point of it. So yeah, let's move to the grammar part now.